Imagine having a personal finance coach who, well, knows every single spending habit you have, predicts your future expenses, helps you invest, and does it all without judgment. Sounds a bit futuristic, maybe? Well, today we're unpacking how artificial intelligence, AI, is actually making this a reality right now in your personal financial life. And in this deep dive, we're definitely not just scratching the surface. We're going to explore how AI is revolutionizing pretty much everything, from how you budget and manage investments to how banks protect your money, and even how the workplace and finance itself is changing. We'll look at the incredible benefits, sure, but also the surprising challenges and what it all really means for you, our listener. We've pulled together insights from a whole range of expert sources for this. We've got reports from Digital Defined, the Financial Services Union, deep dives from Investopedia, and contracts, and even practical guidance from places like Halbert Hargrove and Choice One. So it's a full stack of knowledge to give you the clearest picture possible. Where should we start unpacking this powerful new era of personal finance? Okay, let's unpack this.
I think many of us, maybe most of us, dread budgeting, right? It can feel like such a chore.
Oh, absolutely. It's often put off.
Exactly. But AI is making it not just easier, but, well, smarter. These AI-driven tools, they're being called Budgeting 2.0. They're faster, more dynamic. They look at your spending patterns, and they automatically categorize expenses, like bills, wants, savings. Think apps like Pocket Guard, Mint, WineAmbi, those kinds of things. They can even suggest tailored budgeting strategies for you and automate savings, like those micro-investing platforms. Acorns is one that rounds up your purchases.
Right, the roundups.
Yeah, and all this just saves you time, automates the tracking, frees you from having to manually input everything. What's the core difference you see here compared to, say, old school spreadsheets?
Well, what's truly fascinating, I think, isn't just the automation part, though that's great. It's how this level of personalization, which, used to be only for the wealthiest clients.
Right, high net worth individuals.
Exactly. Now it's accessible to the average consumer. That's a huge shift. It's a real democratization of sophisticated financial management. And these tools, they adapt in real time to your behavior. They can even ping you if you're trending towards overspending in a category.
Oh, that's useful.
It really is. It transforms budgeting from this thing you dread into more of an intuitive partnership. It frees up your mental bandwidth, for what really matters.
Okay, here's where it gets, for me anyway,
Yeah.
really interesting investing with robots, robo-advisors.
Ah, yes, the robos.
Powered by these advanced algorithms, they basically manage investments autonomously. Minimal human intervention. And they're incredibly popular, especially with millennials and first-time investors. The way they work is pretty straightforward, usually. You fill out an online survey, financial situation, goals like retirement, risk tolerance, that sort of thing.
Standard intake questions, yeah.
And then the robo-advisor builds you a customized portfolio. Usually it's low-cost stuff like ETFs, index funds. And crucially, they keep monitoring performance and automatically rebalance your portfolio.
Keeping things aligned, yeah.
The pros are pretty clear. Low fees, usually around 0.25% to maybe 0.50% of assets. That's way cheaper than a traditional human advisor.
Significantly cheaper.
It's a very hands-off approach, which appeals to some people. Super accessible for beginners, low minimum deposits usually. And a lot of them offer tax loss harvesting for tax efficiency. Great for goal-based investing. But okay, there are downsides too. The personalization can be a bit formulaic. Maybe less tailored if you have really complex needs.
Right. It's based on the algorithm.
And they obviously lack that human touch, for emotional support when the market gets volatile.
That's a big one for some investors, peace of mind.
Yeah. Limited investment choices sometimes, maybe oversimplified strategies if you want more granular control. So ultimately, they seem best suited for beginners, passive investors, people really focused on cost, simpler financial needs, retirement savers.
I think it really does change the game for individual investors, though, because while they do remove that emotional component, which can be good or bad, depending.
Right. Stops panic selling, maybe?
Exactly. Their automated systems just keep your portfolio on track, regardless of market swings. And this actually frees up human advisors to spend more time on the big picture questions, the really tough conversations that, frankly, AI just can't handle.
That's a good point. It's augmenting the human role, not just replacing it.
Precisely. It's empowering millions more people to participate strategically in the markets.
Okay, so beyond budgeting and investing, AI is also doing some pretty amazing things with credit access. We're seeing reports it's expanding credit access by maybe 20% for populations that were previously underserved.
That's a significant number.
It is. Traditional credit scoring, it relies on pretty limited indicators, right? But AI can analyze these vast arrays of data, traditional A&D, non-traditional sources, things like rental payment history, utility bills.
Even things like social media activity, though that raises some ethical questions, of course.
Absolutely. But the point is, it helps lenders spot creditworthy individuals who might have been overlooked before. It offers real-time risk assessments, personalized loan terms. When you look at how AI is expanding credit, what's the biggest historical barrier you think it's breaking down?
I think it's that reliance on a narrow set of data points.
Yeah.
Traditional scores often penalize people with thin credit files or non-traditional income streams.
Gig workers, for example.
Exactly. AI's ability to use broader data creates a much more comprehensive picture of someone's actual financial behavior. It leads to fairer assessments, fundamentally. So people who were locked out, not because they're high risk, but just because the system didn't understand their situation, now have a chance. It really broadens the playing field.
And this personalization trend, it doesn't stop there, does it? Financial institutions are using AI everywhere now, analyzing spending habits, investment preferences, even your browsing behavior on their site.
To tailor the experience, yeah.
Right, to deliver really personalized banking. This could be individualized advice, maybe tailored overdraft protection, custom product suggestions, proactive customer support even.
Anticipating your needs before you even ask.
Yeah, and AI can send instant alerts for unusual spending. That helps stop fraud, potentially.
Yeah.
Again, this level of personalization, like you said with budgeting, it used to be just for the wealthiest clients. Now it's becoming accessible to, well, everyone.
It's a move away from that one-size-fits-all model, which often didn't fit anyone perfectly, towards something genuinely customized. Makes financial services feel much more responsive to you as an individual. Think about the time saved just by anticipating what you need.
And speaking of saving time and convenience, AI tech like natural language processing, NLP, that's changing how we interact with our money through voice commands.
Like talking to your bank account.
Pretty much. You can do all sorts of things using voice commands on your smartphone or smart speaker. Checking balances, making payments, transferring money, even getting basic investment advice. This hands-free approach, it adds incredible convenience and accessibility too, especially for people with, say, visual or physical impairments. And apparently, transaction processing can be like 3 times faster.
Speed and ease of use are major drivers.
Then you've got these AI-powered smart wallets and payment systems. They go way beyond just making transactions. They're trying to manage your personal finances using intelligent features.
How so?
Well, they analyze your spending, make budget recommendations, maybe suggest the best times to pay bills to avoid fees or boost your credit score. Some can auto-categorize expenses, predict your future cash flow. In fact, one source said 65% of users now rely on AI for budget management.
Wow, 65%. That's substantial. The predictive capability there is really significant, isn't it? It shifts personal finance from being reactive, like, oops, I overspent, to being proactive.
Right, anticipating things.
Exactly. Letting you anticipate financial needs, make adjustments before issues pop up. The real game changer here isn't just the prediction itself, it's that shift, moving from reactive financial survival mode to proactive, strategic financial living. It kind of turns every consumer into their own dynamic CFO, in a way.
That's a great way to put it. AI is also shaking up the insurance world, automating underwriting.
Risk assessment, yeah.
Algorithms process these really complex data sets super quickly, assessing risk factors from past claims data, weather patterns, even in some cases genetic information, which again raises questions.
Definitely ethical considerations there.
But it leads to more precise risk assessments. And the idea is policies that are more tailored, fairer, and potentially more cost-effective. And building on that predictive power you mentioned, AI's capabilities in personal finance allow forecasting future scenarios based on your current data, your trends, your behaviors.
Like what kind of scenarios?
Predicting future cash flows, potential savings down the line, investment risks maybe, future spending patterns. By analyzing these huge data sets, AI models can spot patterns that aren't obvious to us humans.
Finding hidden correlations.
Right. To predict outcomes with pretty high accuracy, apparently. This helps you make more informed decisions like, should I adjust my spending now? Or my investments? maybe in anticipation of broader economic shifts.
It's like having a highly intelligent, data-driven crystal ball for your finances. Allows for a much more strategic approach to planning rather than just reacting.
And finally, in this section anyway, AI is also enhancing financial education and literacy.
Which is so important.
Hugely important. AI platforms can provide personalized learning experiences. They use machine learning to figure out a user's financial behaviors, their strengths, weaknesses.
So it adapts to the individual learner.
Exactly. Offering customized courses, interactive tools, real-time feedback, like maybe you get specific modules on debt management prompted by your actual spending habits.
That's smart, making it relevant.
Yeah. And they often use gamification making, learning, more engaging. The goal is empowering more people to actually take control of their financial futures. Okay, so that's a lot about how AI impacts us individually. But what does all this mean for the financial industry as a whole? It's not just about your money, right? It's reshaping the entire landscape, wealth management, jobs.
The whole ecosystem is shifting.
Totally.
Yeah.
The wealth management software market alone projected to hit something like $6.29 billion by 2029. That signals a complete reinvention.
Wow.
Because traditional systems, they're often burdened by inefficiencies. Sources say advisors might spend 60–70% of their time on stuff that doesn't generate revenue purely because of outdated tech.
That's a huge chunk of time wasted.
It is. And we're seeing four major forces really pushing this change in wealth management. First, client expectations. People now demand more holistic guidance. They prefer having their banking and wealth services consolidated.
One-stop shop.
Yeah, there's apparently been a 250% increase in that preference since 2018 for people with, say, $1 to $25 million investable assets, and younger investors, 25–44. Even stronger preference, around 73%.
They expect seamless digital experiences.
Second force, FinTech competitors. That sector's booming. Robo-advisors alone projected to hit $41 billion by 2027. These digital-first firms are gaining serious ground. Third, regulatory complexity. Especially for cross-border wealth management, you've got different tax structures, data privacy rules like GDPR in Europe versus, say, Singapore's PDPA. AI actually helps firms navigate all that complexity.
Compliance is a huge driver for tech adoption.
And fourth, economic pressures. Costs are rising, margins are shrinking. It's pushing firms towards tech efficiency. Tech spending is now over 15% of operating expenses for many. And automation, it can deliver operating cost savings of up to 30%.
So the incentives are definitely there.
Absolutely. And to meet these demands, modern wealth management systems are being built on sort of 6 key pillars. You've got data aggregation connecting to thousands of data sources for a complete asset view.
Seeing the whole picture.
Portfolio analytics, sophisticated analysis, tracking, risk assessment, CRM integration, enhancing client relationships, tracking goals. Client portals, giving clients real-time data, secure document sharing.
Self-service options, too.
Right, document management, streamlining records with cloud automation, and visualization tools making complex data understandable through dashboards. And the results, they're measurable. Advisor productivity goes up, advisors using integrated tech. They produce 50% more financial plans, spend 19% more time on actual client investment management.
So they're more effective.
Yeah. Client satisfaction climbs. Mobile apps deliver better experiences. Daily app users report satisfaction scores like 97 points higher than non-users.
That's a massive difference.
Revenue grows. Firms with modern platforms serve 57% more clients, generate 46% more revenue. And cost savings automation can cut operational expenses by 30–45%.
Building on that, it really highlights how AI isn't just another tool, is it? It's acting as a catalyst. It's forcing this fundamental rethink of how financial services are delivered, top to bottom. It completely reshapes the competitive dynamics in the industry.
Which brings us to the people.
What does this mean for the workforce, the folks actually working in finance?
Exactly. That's the next big piece. There's been a lot of talk, a lot of fear initially about job displacement versus augmentation.
The robots taking our jobs narrative.
Right. Those initial fears of like mass displacement, nearly half of jobs, they seem a bit overblown now. More recent findings suggest maybe only 16% of EU jobs are truly at high risk of full automation. AI will also create new roles, right? AI model engineers, data curators, people to manage the tech. But finance is one of the most high exposure industries because it relies so heavily on quantitative analysis, predictive modeling.
Tasks that AI is getting very good at.
Precisely. So it's no surprise that, for instance, 38% of Irish finance employees are concerned about AI's impact on their jobs. And these large language models, LLMs, generative AI, Gen AI, they're major disruptors here. Finance is consistently flagged as highly exposed. Studies are anticipating maybe 50–70% of tasks within jobs will see some level of automation or augmentation.
Augmentation, meaning AI, helps the human do the job better or faster.
Exactly. For example, insurance underwriters. They could see basically 100% of their tasks augmented by AI, helping them sift through data, assess risk more efficiently. We're already seeing hedge funds using tools like ChatGPT for things like drafting marketing reports or summarizing documents.
So it's changing the day-to-day work significantly.
Hugely. Now, what about wages? Interestingly, the early research doesn't show a big negative impact yet, but finance workers themselves believe AI will ultimately push wages down, even though they expect it to boost productivity.
That's an interesting disconnect, perception versus reality, maybe?
Could be. And unlike older automation waves that maybe hit manufacturing hardest, AI seems to affect workers at all skill levels. It's being called collar-blind automation.
Affecting both blue-collar and white-collar roles.
Right. You can automate routine data entry, but also complex analytical tasks that used to require years of experience. However, there are some demographic skews. Women tend to be overrepresented in clerical roles, higher automation risk, and underrepresented in senior management, lower risk. And younger workers might also be vulnerable, especially in entry-level analyst roles, where AI tools might be able to replicate a lot of that initial grunt work.
So the career path might change.
Could do. All of this just screams the importance of upskilling and reskilling, doesn't it? One stat suggests 58%, nearly 60% of the skills needed today in global financial services will be different within 5 years.
Wow, that's rapid change.
It is. So organizations are really prioritizing training now. Things like analytical thinking, AI, and the big data skills, obviously, and creative thinking, perhaps focusing on the uniquely human skills.
Okay, this all sounds, well, transformative, both exciting and maybe a little daunting. But like any powerful technology, there are significant challenges, serious risks we absolutely need to talk about. What stands out to you as the most critical downside or risk here? Well, I think cybersecurity has to be right at the top of the list. Because AI isn't just transforming financial services for the good guys, it's also giving cybercriminals incredibly powerful new tools.
It's an arms race.
Exactly. It's this critical duality. AI is a potent tool for both defense and offense. And the criminals are adapting fast.
Right. We're seeing these AI-driven threats like deepfakes, used for sophisticated phishing email, phone calls, even video calls now, impersonating colleagues.
That story about the worker transferring $25 million after an AI-emulated video call with his CFO, that's terrifying.
It really is. And deepfakes are even being used to try and fool biometric security, like fingerprints or facial recognition. The potential fraud losses from generative AI. Some estimates say they could hit $40 billion by 2027.
$40 billion, that's staggering.
And AI helps criminals work faster, be more effective, finding vulnerabilities in systems, developing malware more quickly, extracting stolen data more efficiently. One metric showed the average time for a manual attack from exploration to data export dropped from 84 minutes to 62 minutes just between 2022 and 2023.
So they're getting quicker and stealthier.
Yeah. And it's lowering the barrier to entry for cybercrime, too. AI can help scammers write much more convincing phishing emails, better grammar, more natural language. It can even help write malicious code. So less technically skilled people can launch more sophisticated attacks.
Democratizing cybercrime in a way?
Unfortunately, yes. And finally, the very data collections that AI needs to function, they become prime targets. These huge pools of data, especially non-public personal information or NPI.
Account numbers, transaction histories, social security numbers.
Exactly. All that highly sensitive stuff held by financial institutions and maybe their third-party vendors becomes a honeypot for criminals. So how are institutions supposed to manage this escalating risk?
Well, the consensus seems to be a risk-based approach is essential. Regular risk assessments, probably annually or whenever there's a significant change in the tech or threats. And crucially, multiple layers of security controls.
Defense in depth.
Right. Things like solid cybersecurity policies, well-rehearsed incident response plans, clear oversight from senior leadership, robust management of third-party risks. Who are you sharing data with?
Yeah. Vendor management is key.
Strong access controls, things like multi-factor authentication, are becoming standard, even required in some places, like New York soon. Continuous cybersecurity training for everyone. from frontline staff right up to the board?
Because humans are often the weakest link.
Often, yes. Plus, continuous monitoring of systems and really rigorous data management. That includes securely disposing of sensitive data when it's no longer needed. Don't hoard data unnecessarily.
It really underscores that need for constant vigilance, doesn't it? And adaptive security. The threat landscape is evolving just as fast as the AI tech itself. It's a perpetual arms race, like you said.
It truly is.
Okay, beyond security, there are other big concerns. Privacy, fairness, ethics. One major issue is just over-reliance on AI.
Trusting it too much.
Yeah, these algorithms, they can make mistakes. They can even hallucinate, generate information that sounds plausible, but is actually factually wrong. Remember that story about the lawyer who cited completely fake court cases generated by ChatGPT?
Oh, right. That was embarrassing and dangerous.
Exactly. So it's absolutely crucial to double-check any major financial decisions suggested by an AI tool. Don't just blindly follow it. Data privacy and security, we touched on it, but it's worth stressing again. These AI systems process vast amounts of your personal financial data. That inherently increases the risk if there's a breach.
So users need to be proactive.
Definitely. You really have to carefully review privacy policies. Ensure they use strong encryption. Use two-factor authentication wherever possible. And, only work with reputable, established platforms. Then there's the whole issue of algorithmic bias, or fairness. AI models learn from historical data. And if that data reflects past biases,
The AI can inherit and even amplify those biases.
right, leading to potentially unfair outcomes in things like lending or credit scoring, maybe favoring certain demographic groups over others without any malicious intent, just based on the data patterns it learned. Regular auditing for bias is absolutely essential.
And this often ties into that black box problem you hear about.
Explain that.
Well, many complex AI algorithms are essentially black boxes. It's incredibly difficult, sometimes impossible, even for the creators, to understand exactly how a specific decision was reached.
So you get an output, but you don't know the why.
Precisely. And that lack of transparency can seriously erode trust, especially when it comes to important financial decisions. That's why there's a big push for explainable AI, or XAI systems designed to provide clear justifications for their outputs.
That makes sense. Another practical concern is just the cost. While lots of basic AI tools are accessible, maybe even free, the really advanced, sophisticated AI solutions, they can be expensive.
Creating a potential divide.
Yeah, potentially creating a barrier for average individuals or smaller businesses, widening the gap between the haves and have-nots in terms of access to the best AI-driven insights. And shifting gears slightly, AI in the workplace itself brings up ethical issues. Employee surveillance, for instance.
Accelerated by remote work, right?
Definitely. AI-powered tools that monitor employees' keystroke logging, webcam monitoring, tracking activity. This raises huge privacy concerns. That Irish survey, again, 60% of finance employees were unsure if their computers were being monitored.
That uncertainty alone must impact morale.
Absolutely. It can undermine morale, erode trust between management and staff, and bias can creep in here too. AI in recruitment software, for example. Amazon famously had to scrap a tool because it learned to prioritize male applicants based on historical hiring data.
Ouch.
And employers are increasingly using AI not just for recruitment, but for performance reviews, even informing firing decisions. This is deeply unpopular. 57% of finance workers support a ban on AI making firing decisions. It feels like it undermines that crucial manager-worker relationship.
It feels dehumanizing, perhaps.
Exactly. Now, regulators are starting to grapple with all this. The EU AI Act, adopted early 2024, is a big step. It identifies things like creditworthiness assessments and insurance risk assessments as high-risk AI uses.
Meaning they face stricter requirements.
Yes, stringent requirements around data quality, transparency, human oversight, robustness. It also addresses those general-purpose AI systems like the LLMs we talked about. It's a proactive attempt to set guardrails.
Towards responsible development and deployment.
And often the best solution seems to involve collaboration, employer-employee collaboration. Worker consultation on how new technology is being implemented, apparently practiced by over 60% of Irish finance employers, tends to lead to more positive outcomes, better worker performance, better working conditions.
So transparency and dialogue within the workplace are key.
Seems that way. Okay, so we've covered a lot. The amazing opportunities, the serious risks. For us, the individuals trying to navigate this, what's the takeaway? How do we safely use AI in our personal finances?
Well, first and foremost, I'd say you absolutely need to research and choose trusted AI tools. Don't just jump on the first shiny new app.
Do your homework.
Exactly. Thoroughly research your options, read the security policies, the privacy policies, look for positive reviews, maybe certifications if they exist, and be really wary if the platform isn't transparent about how it uses your data, especially if they use it for training their models.
Good point.
What else? Second, and this is crucial, complement AI with human judgment.
Don't outsource your brain completely.
Right. AI is a powerful tool, incredibly useful, but it is not infallible. It can make mistakes, like we discussed. It doesn't truly understand context the way a human does. It can't really differentiate genuinely good financial advice from bad advice that just follows a pattern.
So always sanity check it.
Always. Combine the AI insights with your own understanding, your own common sense. And for really major decisions, buying a house, retirement planning, strongly consider consulting a qualified human professional, a certified financial planner or trusted financial advisor. They can consider your unique personal factors, your emotional relationship with money, things AI just can't grasp.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Third, I'd say, regularly monitor your finances yourself. Even if you're using fancy AI tools to automate things.
Don't set it and forget it entirely.
Precisely. Manually checking your accounts, your statements, it's still important. Errors can happen. Algorithmic glitches, misinterpreted data. Proactive monitoring helps you catch inaccuracies quickly, and it keeps you actively engaged and aligned with your financial goals.
Good habit anyway, AI or not.
Absolutely. And finally, maybe most fundamentally, learn the basics of personal finance yourself.
Build your own financial literacy.
Yes. Even with the best AI assistant in the world, having a solid foundation in financial literacy is invaluable. Understanding the fundamentals, budgeting, saving, investing, debt management, helps you interpret the AI-generated insights much more effectively.
Helps you spot potential errors too.
Exactly. And it allows you to use the tools more powerfully, asking better questions, setting better parameters. AI is a tool to assist your financial journey, not completely replace your own knowledge and judgment.
What a deep dive indeed.
Yes.
We've really seen how AI is undeniably reshaping personal finance, haven't we? Offering these credible tools for, well, almost everything. Personalized budgeting, investment management, fraud detection, even financial education. It's genuinely democratizing access to sophisticated financial advice that used to be out of reach for many. And it's streamlining operations across the entire industry.
Indeed. And while AI certainly promises more inclusive, more intelligent, more individualized financial management, it also, as we've discussed, introduces really complex challenges.
Yeah, the flip side.
Particularly around cybersecurity, those ethical and privacy considerations, and the evolving nature of work in finance. It really underscores the critical need for, I think, vigilance, critical thinking, and a balanced approach as we integrate these powerful tools into our financial lives.
So a final thought for you, our listener, as you move forward. How will you leverage these AI-powered tools to maybe optimize your own financial outcomes? And perhaps more importantly, what steps will you take to prepare for the changes, the ethical, the regulatory changes that inevitably come with such a powerful transformation?
How will you ensure your financial future isn't just automated, but truly empowered and secure?